Infotainment Talk Radio, a podcast about vehicles. You love vehicles. We love vehicles. Let's talk. Infotainment Talk Radio with your hosts, Doug and Joel. Infotainment Talk Radio. Yes, Infotainment Talk Radio. Welcome back to it. I am Joel, and Doug is here with me. Doug, how you doing?
Great. How you doing, Joel?
I'm doing awesome. And we also have a special guest in studio, kind of an impromptu studio, but a planned visit from Infotainment.Ca's general manager, Nas.
How you doing?
Amiri, I'm doing great, but how are you?
Very, very good.
Good to see you. Well, this edition, we want to welcome everyone back after last year's all kind of took a little bit of a break, but we've got some great editions planned for you here, rolling out in the spring, talking about electric vehicles and satellites to come. But this edition is About Us Canada edition. And first, let me give you a quick video. This is on our YouTube page of the founder, Doug, in the room here with me, explaining a little bit about Infotainment.com. So enjoy this. We'll be right back. Talk about Infotainment Canada.
Infotainment is really a unique company. It started out as an auto part company where we were selling auto parts, refurbishing and selling auto parts. And it turned into more of an engineering company. You know, we engineer a lot of our own parts in-house. We make everything 100% plug and play. We make it with a DIY mentality. We want these upgrades to be something you could do in your own garage. Nothing that you have to have a ton of experience doing. Your average Joe can install the parts that we have. We have over 150, 200 videos, installation videos that actually shows you how to do it. So on a Saturday, you wake up and take the kids to baseball, and then when you get home, you could put in an upgrade in your truck or your vehicle. And it really sets us apart, not only from a plug-and-play kind of a fully compatibility guarantee perspective, but also the people that work here. They love working here. They love helping customers, new customers, old customers. It really sets us apart from our competition. My name is Doug Andrunas. I'm the founder and CEO of Infotainment.com. Infotainment was started back in 2008, also known as OEM Auto Parts Company. Before 2008, my father had a used car dealership, and that's really where I learned how to love cars. That's where I learned how to take apart cars. What I did is I started with radios, older Ram and Grand Cherokee radios, 2003, 2004 radios, learned the insides and outs of them. And in early 2008 is when I started selling them. Customers came to me frequently, how do I add a backup camera? How do I add Sirius satellite radio or Bluetooth capabilities? And those things I didn't know, but I worked tirelessly to figure that stuff out and work closely with customers and vendors and other companies early on. The number one thing and the number one reason why I love what I do is to come up with new things. You know, to go on forums and people are talking about something. Is it possible to do X? That's what drives me to come up with an idea, to bounce it off a lot of people here at the company. Everyone throws their 2 cents in from different angles, and it develops into an idea, and it develops into something that's marketable. And then getting that feedback from customers that say, oh my gosh, I love it. I can't believe you guys came up with that. Just really drives me. And it gets to a point where it's overwhelming. I'm up till 1, 2 o'clock in the morning researching how is the wiring, how is it pinned out, how is it programmed, and making that idea come to fruition and available for sale just really drives me to want to get to the next project. I think it's exciting to get a brand new body vehicle, for instance, a Ram or an F-150, one of the first vehicles off the production floor, and getting it into the shop and then just destroying it, to reverse engineer the parts and how does it all fit and what programming is involved, what wiring is involved, looking through schematics. Just reverse engineering brand new vehicles is a lot of fun in my perspective. To partner with other people in the company, everyone brings different ideas and different thoughts into products or processes, and to team up with them to really come up with really cool, exciting upgrades is awesome.
And that was a great video overview, the audio of a video. Welcome back to Infotainment Talk Radio. I've got so many infotainments going, Infotainment.Ca, Infotainment.com. I am Joel, one of the two hosts. You just heard Doug give a great overview of Infotainment.com, and that is an About Us video on the YouTube page. But that was great, Doug. Listening to that back again, it's true. You do love to just break stuff apart and reverse engineer.
It's invigorating, when, like I said in the video, when you get that brand new vehicle in and your brain just doesn't stop. You're like, what are all the cool things you can do to this? And it's just fun, just reverse engineering and just seeing how it was built and how things fit and finish. It's a blast.
Well, and thank goodness that you're minded like that, because Infotainment.com, that's where you can find plug and play factory radio upgrades and the big expansion. That's what we're talking about on this edition. Infotainment.Ca, Infotainment.Ca, that's for Canada. And over here, the general manager of that whole organization up there, it's Nas Amiri. Nas, welcome. How are you?
Good. How you doing?
I'm doing great. Welcome. So the new location is up, and it's been over there, and it's in Toronto,
Mississauga, in Toronto GTA, and we are got a new retail location there, and currently I'm just there by myself, but we are expanding more and more into different areas, and definitely we're trying to do a lot more in our service and getting all the kind of parts for the customers.
Well, and what we just heard a little bit about Doug's background. Well, give us a little bit about your origins and your background. I think people will be interested. And, plus for our customers that are in Canada, now we have a new location. It's in Toronto, like we just talked about there. But give us some of your background. You always been a part of the automotive industry, or color that in for me?
Yeah, my father owned a auto body shop and auto parts shop, and he would make me come to his shop over time. And as time went on, I became more and more passionate about the kind of work he did. But I was a bit more interested in the e-commerce side of things, and the numbers really. I want to do everything a bit more easier instead of doing everything labor-wise. So over the years, I spent 8-9 years working with them, and particularly in the sales and also inventory. Infotainment, we actually got met up by accident through eBay, and that's where it kind of started like a snowball.
Yeah, it's actually it's a really good story. Meeting Nas for the first time, he was actually a vendor of ours for a bit, and he came down to Florida to visit us. We have been doing business for a while, and kind of put everyone's heads together and kind of came up with the idea of, we have so many great customers in Canada. Wouldn't it be nice to be able to serve them right in their own turf,
For sure.
And Nas, with his customer service background and e-commerce background, just such a great addition. I can't think of anybody else who could really represent the brand and the company the way it needs to be represented up in Canada. Nas has done such a great job thus far, and we're really looking forward to blooming and blossoming up there and up north. So
definitely, thank you very much. We can definitely use as much as help as possible. I'm here I come here visit in Orlando from time to time, and just to discuss what we can do in Canada, Infotainment Canada, because we got so many customers that they see our sign on the street and they walk in, they think they're like, oh my God, like, how did this happen? I'm like, well, you're looking at him. One of the things that we're currently doing and we're kind of focusing primarily on is the FCA products, such as the Chrysler Group, Dodge, Ram, Jeep, and our hands are always full with this. And of course, as we progress more and more, expand more, and really, really properly support the Infotainment Canada expansion, definitely a lot more products going to be added on as time goes. But yeah.
And that's awesome. And I don't know if it makes any kind of difference, but I mean, we are here in America and we know that we love our trucks and our vehicles, and Canadians are the exact same way. And they may even be a little bit more so of like, hey, this is a part of my family that I'm letting you fix or what have you. So, so that's great. So, we don't even think it's close to the big three automakers and, in that whole region there, at least the middle of the country, the Alberta type of area. Anyway, talking with Nas, GM of Infotainment.Ca, Doug, founder, CEO of Infotainment.com in the room. I am Joel. I will say briefly, we used to do this podcast pretty regularly, and then COVID hit and then we stopped. So it was really great to get everybody back together, at least in the same room, and talk about this stuff, because Infotainment.com, I just want to say, that I'm proud to be associated with the organization that helps people practice the ounce of prevention is a pound of cure. If you can put a backup camera in a vehicle that you have that didn't come off the line with it, and it's an easy plug and play way, and you back up one day and you see that there's something in your way and you miss it, that is what I like. Yeah. That the product of what we're affiliated actually is a safety feature from factory that they maybe didn't roll off the lot with, that they can get power folding mirrors, backup cameras, bigger screens with Apple CarPlay. So that's what I love about Infotainment.com. But let's get back to this conversation. And that's a good segue to passion. You have passion in the industry.
Yeah. I had such a passion. When I first time heard of Infotainment, I kept on bugging him, like, please come to Canada, because so many people know about you guys, and you guys just need to take care of this area. And they were like, no. Well, they want to, but they were just so busy. So I just flew out. They didn't expect me, but I just sneaked in.
Yeah, Nas, he brought us, I'll never forget it. I was sitting in my office and Nas came in and I was like, hey, what's up? And he gave us maple syrup. And I still have that in our pantry at home, and a little taste of Canada. But no, it was a great time, and like Nas alluded, we are so busy with expansion and new people and new products. And it's like, how could we possibly comprehend opening another location in Canada, in unfamiliar territory and whatnot? And Nas just reassured us. He's like, I know the lay of the land. I've been there forever, and I could help you guys get it up and running.
That's great.
So we're doing that now.
Yeah, and when things like that come together, I mean, you can expect big things, because Infotainment.com is a company that listens to the customer. Half of the things that have been produced and put out there as a plug and play kit were coming direct from customer request. Yeah, which is a huge part of the success of the model. So now that's coming over to Canada. You're super excited about that. Your time is freed up a little bit more to build the business, the e-commerce side of the business, and then a little bit more business to business. There's wholesale relationships you could discuss with people down the line, right? There are new partnerships, and I'll tell you what, getting a unit repaired may become a little bit simpler down the line here, or just a simple replacement. If you've got a Ram truck from 2012 and you've got a MyGig radio in there, some of those things sometimes will go kaput. So maybe getting a whole new one is the best thing to do, but it's good to be able to have someone you can talk to with no pressure type of sales advice. And that's what we give over there, Infotainment.Ca. Give people the time of day. So now we're freeing you up to do a little bit more, less of that conversations. There's going to be some new ways to communicate, and your global growth hopes. We can come back and talk about all of that in a minute or two. Let's bust away real quick, because I'm in need of that for the moment. Let me, and I'm hitting everything. I'm so sorry. I'm so rusty with the podcast. Anyway, all right. Well, listen to this. We'll all be right back. Hang on. Driving in a vehicle without a working radio can be a painful experience. That long commute is now a miserable trip. At Infotainment.com, we merge nav repair services, and now you can repair, replace as an easy-to-select and purchase product on our website. So now, shorten the time you have to drive without a factory radio in your vehicle. Repair, replace your factory radio with nav repair services at Infotainment.com. Ford, GM, Chevy, Dodge, Jeep, Chrysler, Ram, plug-and-play factory radio repair, replace, or upgrade. Infotainment.com, your one-stop shop for factory radio solutions. Infotainment.com and Infotainment.Ca. This is our About Us Canada edition. We have Nas Amiri in studio, and he is the GM for that whole entire nation. Doug and Drunas here representing the USA. And the founder of the whole entire concept there. Let's talk about a little bit about Canada, because people are here in Orlando and they go, oh my gosh, I didn't know you could do that on the YouTube video. And then they're like, this guy's here in Florida.
Yeah.
And they'll come and find you. So now that we have a physical location in Canada, maybe Nas, do you invite people to come in? They have before, or what's been some of the reaction?
I'm always welcoming anybody to come in, and doesn't matter if you're just a local walk-in or a wholesale. We welcome everybody, and they're always surprised. They're like, "Oh, where's the Doug?" I'm like, "Well, the Doug is in Florida." I'm like the Canadian Doug. They're like, "Oh, okay, help me out." So it's always been a very positive feedback from our customers. Definitely. They always want us to bring more and more and more, and that's one of the reasons why I want to expand more and more and bring the kind of quality that infotainment brings in. But we want to definitely have our own Canadian version, because definitely the Canadian customers are very particular about their trucks and their upgrade, and that's why I'm here to do the work that perhaps Infotainment.com, it's just might be too much at times.
Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head with that. I think what's important is, we have a couple different locations, one in Orlando, one in Texas, one in North Florida. And, what's great about the Toronto location, it's smaller, but it's more, I feel like it's more personal. You can stop in there and really, take a look at these products and do these things. Where Orlando, we do that as well, but it's such a distribution center kind of vibe. Even though we do welcome people at our Orlando and our Texas location, the great thing about Toronto, that location, it's like it gives you the warm and fuzzies. You can go there and hang out as long as you want. You know. And get that great service from Nas.
That's a great point.
Definitely. And we always, the ideas that we talk from Infotainment.com and .ca, when we bring the ideas together, one of the most beautiful things ever happen. And that's what I'm here this week, and going back on Monday to look on how to do better for our Canadian side of things.
Yes. Absolutely. It's going to be great. As Nas alluded, we're going to, we've already begun sales. We've been doing it for a little bit now, but, as Nas alluded, we're going to focus on the Ram side, the Jeep, the Dodge, the Chrysler, and really get our feet wet, and saturate that side of the market. And then slowly bring in Ford and General Motors, Toyota, Nissan, and so on and so forth. But we want to provide that service to all you FCA folks in Toronto and in other areas in Canada.
There's a ton of models that come to my mind when I think about FCA. It's like, oh my goodness, that's Fiat Chrysler Association, and that's a Y. That's like 20 different kinds of models. Never mind Jeep and Ram. I mean, there's a whole bunch of other vehicles, more Chrysler 300, a Challenger. And I think a cool part of this that people may forget, is that Nas does work to procure and fulfill with locally sourced parts. I think you may have mentioned that a little bit. But with Canada, I know there might be some buyback opportunities on some certain gear, so maybe we could talk a little bit about that Infotainment.Ca will, buy factory gear as well. Anything you want to talk about that?
Yeah. We have a great buyback program here in Infotainment.com, and of course, we have a lot of Canadian customers who purchase from our .com website, and they get offered, money back for their old units. And we're doing the same thing for Canada, except you don't deal with any of the HF tariffs. You don't deal with any kind of very expensive shipping costs and any sort of border tax. All those fees are completely gone by having our Mississauga location, Mississauga, Toronto. And we always welcome and always going to give you a better price, because it's always going to be in a local currency instead of a different currency, you may lose.
Where you're at, isn't that a huge fulfillment type of area by design? Just water to sea right by the border, kind of all that. I mean, it's got all of the things you want in that area, right?
Yeah, we have. So our location is right next to the Pearson Airport. Where all the FedEx and UPS and all these, shipping companies that work around there. So when we want to ship something, we use these, big companies that we want to get it out faster, and they pick up and they drop off because we're like next door. And that's the thing that provides a much better service. And of course, we're constantly trying to make it better at a much faster processing times. And
And that's great. Yeah. So there's a huge opportunity up there, and it'd be interesting too to see if there are other models that are more popular up there. I know trucks are huge. Trucks are just big, and like I said, it's Nas told me a story the other day, real quick, where it's like, folks are used to driving long distances there. In Canada. And I'm like, wow, well, that's, perfect for us, especially if you have a 17, you just missed the Apple CarPlay. Let's get, more updated factory radio in there so you can have that safety feature for that long drive. You can leverage your device, for some added content, maybe not always depend on the radio. How's the radio up there? Canadian radio, is it fun? Do they have a wacky morning show?
Yeah, so the way, like you mentioned, the long drives, like you're not, you're in Canada when you drive so much. I'm pretty sure it's the same thing in U.S. too, but in Canada you go huge distances and just to go for something, and that's one of the reasons why a lot of people come in. They're like, we want to get this radio because I'm driving and I'm just looking at this very small screen, and they never know that they could upgrade it. And now that as we do a lot of advertising from Facebook or Google, but we also start advertising on Kijiji. So if you go to local, like buy something at local, like a Craigslist in Canada called Kijiji, that's where most of the people, they find us. They're like, oh my God, like this is amazing. And they buy all kinds of parts from us. Some guys, they come 2-3 different times, and we always appreciate coming back loyal customers, and we always want to do more and more with them.
Yeah, no, I think that's great. You also brought a Kijiji. I'm glad you did that, because I know that's something that's very popular up in Canada. It's, you had mentioned that I think it's an eBay company, is it?
Yes, so, it's owned by eBay.
Yeah, so I know we have here in the States, we have Craigslist, which is pretty big. We've never really explored that itself, but yeah, the Facebook, the Google, Kijiji, obviously our website, Infotainment.Ca, is going to be a great resource as well, just to buy straight from the website. But those are all the different options. Give us a call at our Canada location. Feel free to drop a line. We also do live chat. So we'll be able to assist you any way we can. And Nas also alluded to the shipping. You don't want to pay those duties and taxes. You want something that's right from Canada, locally sourced parts, and supporting other businesses in the areas is a big part of it as well. So we're looking forward to that.
That all sounds awesome. So let's do this. Let's cut away for a little bit. I think huge things are going to happen up there in Canada, and it's great to have Nas in studio. And we thought, hey, we never did a podcast, and let's talk about Canada. It was almost dedicate a whole episode to that. The cool part about this edition is we are going to come back in a little bit, and we're going to talk a little bit about Jeep Beach. I'm sorry. What? We got an unpaid intern. You got to start paying those interns, or they'll just turn down your mic. Oh, see? All right. See? All right. So, we're going to come back at Jeep Beaches this weekend. And last year, again, that thing got canceled. We did an edition all dedicated to the history of the Jeep. And, when we come back, we're going to try to get on the line marketing director of Infotainment.com, Will Bradley, and speak with him about some of the cool stuff that is going on out there and Infotainment's, setup out there. So, anything about Canada we can, do, kind of in closing. We'll go to a little commercial here. And then, anything you want to say about Canada? Duh. I'm so sorry. I hit my head on this thing. It's like my very first episode ever.
Yeah. One of the things that, of course, our customers always ask is, can you ship it faster? I don't know our customers in Prairies, and even all the way in BC, they always ask us, can we do better in the shipping? We can always do better. We have a lot of different options. If you always call us before you place an order through our .ca website, Infotainment.Ca, we can give a lot more variety of different shipping options, because I know shipping from one side to the other side, it does take time, and
How many miles wide is Canada?
Oh, it like from Mississauga all the way to, let's say, Saskatchewan. It's a 32-hour drive nonstop. What? And I did at one time 36 hours with 4 hours sleep. So,
oh wow,
you got to try it.
It is a lot. Yeah, I don't know. That's a marathon for me. Anyway, that's I've been training just sitting in my house for a year. So now I guess maybe I'm ready to get out and get on the road. Maybe you folks are as well. Take Infotainment.com with you. Listen to a couple of these things. We'll be right back and talk a little bit about Jeep Beach and wrap up this session. In 1665, following an outbreak of the bubonic plague in England, Cambridge University closed its doors, forcing Isaac Newton to return home to Woolsthorpe Manor. While sitting in the garden there one day, he saw an apple fall from a tree, providing him with the inspiration to eventually formulate the laws of universal gravitation. Got some extra time on your hands? Discover your vehicle's potential. Do the research. Ask the experts. Infotainment.com is over a decade old and specializes in plug-and-play factory radio upgrades, touchscreen factory navigation radios, or retrofit kits to add more current safety features like Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, all while keeping the car or truck you already love. It's Infotainment.com. Discover your vehicle's potential.
Are you tired of your old standard mirrors in your 2013 to 2019 Ram truck? If so, come to Infotainment, where we offer options to get power folding mirrors in your truck. We order directly from Mopar. Visit Infotainment.com, where we have the latest and greatest upgrades for your vehicle. Infotainment.com. 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 Visit Infotainment.com, where we have the latest and greatest upgrades for your vehicle.
Welcome back. Oh, wow. Okay. Infotainment.com. You get the gist. A little bit of fun because taking it out to the beach for the weekend. It's a Jeep Beach event, and it's going to be out at the Speedway, I believe. But we got Doug, who knows a whole bunch about what is going on out there. Jeep Beach, this Infotainment Talk Radio. Doug, give us a lowdown.
Yeah. So this will be our first time as a company to be out there representing Infotainment.
Awesome.
And we'll be representing, obviously, Infotainment.com and Infotainment.ca. And it's such a special event because, avid Jeep lovers come from all over the place. They love their Jeep. They want to do cool things to it. And as I mentioned, they come from everywhere. They have folks from Canada, overseas, everywhere, and they bring their Jeeps, and you've never seen so many cool Jeeps in your life. And
you could drive on the beach in Daytona still, right? Yeah, it's always been like that.
So it's going to be an exciting event. We'll have a booth there, so come take a look for us. Infotainment as well as OBD Genie. We have a really, really cool thing to show everyone with our company Jeep. We have a special.
It's kind of a first. People will get like a first look at something that's been being worked on for quite a while.
Yeah, and we're not going to publish any pictures or anything until after Jeep Beach. But basically, we were able to fit a 12-inch screen into the both the Grand Cherokee and the Wrangler, but the Wrangler JL is the one we're showing.
So the Ram, the big 12.
Yep, the big 12-inch Uconnect screen where we were able to fit it into the Wrangler. There. And you get, GPS navigation, you get CarPlay, you get the real big, nice screen.
That split screen kind of technology.
Yep, and if you come by our booth, you can check it out and be the first to see it. And then, as I mentioned, those of you who can't make it, take a look at our social media accounts and for those pictures. But we're hoping to release that later in the year as kind of a custom upgrade. So we're looking forward to that.
That's awesome. And that's Jeep Beach going on this weekend out there in Daytona Beach. And if you got a Jeep, man, that is a place you definitely want to be this weekend. Plus, people get that little first look at this release, and that is a big deal.
Yeah, it's going to be exciting.
So awesome. So we'll kind of wrap things up for now. We've been off for a while, a little bit rusty, and I'll take all the blame on that one. Nevertheless, we appreciate you hanging out with us. Keep consuming and sharing the show out there. You love your vehicle. We do too. It's Infotainment Talk Radio. Doug, much thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Nas, thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Well, we will see you the next time. We've got some more content coming your way. It's Infotainment Talk Radio. Infotainment Talk Radio.